He was in no man's land the entire time he played. He never got to the kitchen line. He overhit every single ball, no dinking. And he was mad when I said, I have to tell you, you're about a 3.3 player. And he left the building. He got so upset with me, he left. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Keeping It Real with Gina and Neil, the pickleball podcast that is not afraid to call out the drama. I'm your co-host, Gina Salento, and this is Neil Friedenberg.
We're not here to talk about the pros or sugarcoat anything. We're here to talk about the chaos, the drama, because that's where really the sport lives.
Okay, welcome everybody. This is going to be probably one of my favorite topics to talk about. It's the delusional player, a player that thinks they are way better than what they are. And I see it as a coach every single day. People coming to me, I belong in this group because I'm this, or my DUPR rating says I'm this. After they just won a tournament in somebody's basement, all of a sudden they're a 5-0. I mean, it's true, right?
Yep.
And it's a player that thinks, I mean, it's not always that they're better than everybody else. It's just that they think they belong on a certain level that is not. And you play tournaments that are maybe like just more community based, and you win it, and then you think, okay,
I'm gonna go big time.
I'm gonna go big time. They asked me to play in their group, and now I'm this. When the group is like 3-5, and they think they're like 5-0s. And I think self-confidence is a great thing to have. I mean,
there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
When I coach and teach, I do name drop Michael Jordan all the time. I always say, he missed more shots than he took. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure other people have said this. He takes more he missed more shots than he took, but every time he took the shot, he assumed it was going in. He thought it was going in. That's why he took it.
Yeah.
And that's the confidence you have to bring.
But he really is the best player to ever play. So
I mean, is he a 5-0 pickleball player?
No.
No.
Probably not.
No.
But I think ego has something to do with it.
Yeah.
I think like they blame like the paddle, they blame an injury, they blame their partner, they blame everything. But the thing I think that is the most common I've seen is when they're getting better. Mm-hmm. They're going up from 3-5 to 4-0 and whatever. And all of a sudden, like they have aspirations of going pro or not even that. Maybe they're playing all the time. And like, what's your end game? Okay, you're playing all the time because you enjoy it, or you really think you have what it takes to go pro?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it 100 times. The delusional player goes through the process, gets better and better, and now they're on their road to pro. They're going to pro. They're dropping their job. They're going to train every day. They're going to move. And some very, very small percentage make it.
Yeah.
But
1% out of like 48 million.
Yeah, but they're dropping everything and going, I'm going pro. And then they go as far as they can, and then it kind of drops off.
I know pros, I mean like teaching pros that are not even able to get out of the qualifier to get into the pro roster, to be able to play the tournament and get into the draw. And they can't get out of a qualifier. I know there's nothing wrong with you keep trying, that's your goal. Okay, I get that. But I'm talking about like the 3-5 player.
Yeah.
That's like thinking they're really, I don't know.
I've seen it, and a lot of the time they're kind of decked out in the same, like the brand, they got the
like
shoe.
They're sponsored.
Like they're sponsored, but they're really not. They're spending a boatload of money on that stuff, but they're buying the paddle, the bag.
This episode is brought to you by Victory Insoles, science-backed.
I felt the insole in my shoe was very firm, so when I was moving around, it held its own. It wasn't slipping. It did give me that extra spring to my step. I felt like I could move a little bit faster towards the ball and wasn't behind it like sometimes I am.
Great for players looking for reducing their fatigue and to stay on their feet longer and be able to be faster on recovery from one shot to the next. It's especially helpful for when you're out there for an extra long period of time playing a match, to give you that durability and support in your feet to make you go the distance, especially when you're grinding it.
Thank you, Victory.
So when we talk about this, there's ego involved, right? It has nothing to do with self-confidence. It's just an ego that's kind of skewed into...
It's
like
inflated
and blaming paddle, blaming
that
partner.
That's a pet peeve of mine. I hate that when someone hits a shot it doesn't go over, or whatever happened, it wasn't the shot that they wanted. They look at the paddle.
Yeah,
No,
I know.
no,
It's a natural
there's-
instinct to look at the paddle, but
It's the paddle didn't.
no, I know. It's operator error.
Yeah, yeah.
And a lot of times I think someone lacks like the self-awareness that like, there's one thing to have goals, right? You have your goals, you want to get better and you want to pursue something as far as you can. I get that. I don't take that away from anybody. I'm talking about though like someone that's 3.5 and they really believe that they have what
Yeah.
it takes. And we've talked about people that we know or people out there that can't even get out of a qualifier to get into the main draw of a pro tournament, and yet they tout themselves as a pro.
The pro word is one of the most overused words
I agree.
in pickleball, along with sponsored. I'm a sponsored athlete.
Does that mean you have a matching outfit?
It's a matching outfit. Sometimes, I mean, hey, they're spending a ton of money on that gear and matching it all up.
And to me, there's nothing more satisfying than coming on a court with like a ripped t-shirt and one paddle and spanking someone without like matching outfit.
Personally, I like the shirt I mow the lawn in. That's some vintage retro shirt that's been washed 1,000 times.
We're all
It's comfy.
And I'm not taking away from someone that has a great outfit. I mean, I'm
No,
just saying,
no,
but you do. But there's such of like a sense of entitlement, like where they'll actually think they're better than other people, and then they'll start treating other people differently, or
yeah,
they're on the road to got like they won a tournament at a community thing, and then all of a sudden now they think they have a shot.
right.
And it's not apples.
You're going pro.
Apples. It's apples to oranges, right?
Right.
So when you play a sanctioned tournament, that's different, right? You're getting people from all over this country, and you're seeing different levels that are realistic.
And the different states too. I think this side topic, real quick.
That's it. That's exactly right.
The different states, you get to see the levels and what kind of level does that look like in New York or Georgia or whatever.
Yeah.
It's different. I think the Midwest is pretty darn strong, actually.
It's strong, but then you have players like in Florida that are used to playing outside all the time. Like if I go down to Florida to play, well, I'm odd man out because I'm not used to playing in the wind and the humidity all the time. I'm more indoor.
Yeah.
Because the weather is not great here. So that all factors in. But I think there needs to be a realistic rating system.
Right.
And there needs to be a realistic, like inwards, maybe ask a coach you trust, hey, do I have what it takes to go pro?
I think that's getting evaluated.
Yeah.
The rating systems are kind of all over the place right now. I think it's going to work itself out eventually.
I hope so.
I do too. Yeah. But I think having like a teaching pro or, a coach evaluate you and say, okay, honest opinion, what does it look like? What do you think I play at? It used to be so much easier when it was like 3-0, 3-5, 4-0, 4-5, 5-0. It was 5-0, that's it.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, it makes sense.
6 and 7s, and yeah.
I get that.
The game is elevated so much. But then you also got to be careful, I think, of some of these coaches that are teaching. So you get like a retired electrician that's getting a certificate to coach and teach, and maybe at best they're a 4-0 player.
I've done a camp and got a certification, and it was probably lower than that. It was lower than that. And I remember dinking around, and it was like 4 shots in the net, 4 shots in the net. How do we evaluate coaches? How are coaches being given certifications too? That's important. Yeah.
And you're getting coaches that are teaching that are delusional, thinking that they have like this ability to teach when they don't. I mean, there's a lot to know. And I think if you're going to take on evaluating somebody else, you really need to know, because otherwise you set that person short of what they potentially could be. I don't mean to be unkind in any way. I'm just trying to say there needs to be a more structured system that people have a fair evaluation of themselves, and also the coaches that are getting certified, that they have a fair evaluation of how far they can teach.
Right. It's so confusing. There's so many different numbers. There's, like you mentioned, DUPR and different rating systems. They're like at different clubs. There's beginner, advanced beginner, intermediate, advanced intermediate. Yeah. What about the rec player just coming in? Where do I fit in? So I guess they just kind of have to get out there, play. And there needs to be more of a unanimous. Yeah. Like some clubs do it differently, or some, there should be just a format that's a little bit more unanimous. Right. So people have a better understanding of what they really are. And I don't think it's I think leagues are nice too, though. There's one way to get out there and kind of see where you fit in.
That's true.
Different levels.
That's true.
Leagues are nice.
or doing a tournament. Like, I mean, we talked about sandbaggers. That's a whole nother subject, but yeah, that's a whole nother subject. But I think people that are drilling, getting better at their game, just realize when you hit your potential, right? You should realize, like, at some point, I don't have what it takes to go pro, but I want to be the best player I can be. How do I just keep myself improving and enjoying the game without, like, setting yourself up for
failure
in a way. We all strive to get better. I get that. So that brings us to, like, fragile egos. So I had somebody come on my court once that I was doing an exhibition match with 5-0 plus guys. And I said, if anyone wants to come in and try playing with one of us, you're welcome. And this one guy said, I'm coming to play with you. I'd like to try to play with you guys. No offense. He had a paddle that had a teddy bear on it. So it was like just a inexpensive and I'm like, oh, good, maybe he's gonna surprise me with like some really great
He's
stuff.
a ringer.
He's a ringer. He had like Tevas on shoes, like, so not even a
The
tennis.
sandals?
Yeah, like a sandal. It reluctantly let him on the court because I don't want my court to get all messed up. But he came on the court and he's like, I can hang. I got a DUPR of 4-0. I'm like, okay, we'll have fun and we'll just give him a chance. He was in no man's land the entire time he played. He never got to the kitchen line. He overhit every single ball, no dinking. And he was mad when I said, I have to tell you, you're about a 3.3 player. And he left the building. He got so upset with me, he left. And that was just my honest opinion. I'm just like, well, I know you think you're a 4-0, but I have to tell you, he goes, well, what would you rate me then? And I'm like, I think you're like a 3. And he lost it on me. He left.
I don't get that mentality. I really don't. I guess I didn't, excuse me, I guess I didn't grow up that way. I've told you about my dad.
Yeah.
Pretty hard on us.
Yeah.
Sports especially. But when I look at it now, in a good way, he was teaching fundamentals and mechanics and things like that. But, you got to be able to hear it from someone else. You can't just
And someone that knows it.
Someone that knows more than you.
Yeah.
That's okay. It kind of goes back to what, again, I'm using my dad. There's always someone better than you. There might be someone that knows a little bit more than you. Understand that, own it, and learn from it.
Mm-hmm.
Really, I mean, okay, to walk out and throw a tantrum. Yeah, that's basically a tantrum.
He was mad that I rated him that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. You have the credentials.
I guess.
You coach, you teach, you play.
Just something like that. Like, okay, maybe you could say to me, hey, okay, you think I'm that. Well, what can I do to get better? Right? That's
exactly, I mean, you tell me that, I would say, where do you think my game needs to change? What can I do to be better? What's a strength? Things like that. I mean, that's why you have a coach too, I think someone like that probably should first get some shoes.
Yes. And maybe a better paddle.
Maybe a paddle that has like a fierce teddy bear on it. Yeah, I mean, just hear it from a coach, a pro, and learn from it.
I know.
It's easy. It really is. You don't just put the ego aside and say, what can I do to get better? And
I'm definitely not telling that to this person to hurt their feelings.
No.
I'm trying to give them a realistic look. Okay, you're here. If you want to get to here, this is what it would take. But I didn't get to finish that conversation.
Do we have to walk on eggshells?
No, right?
Or do you want to just, I hate question marks. Not the actual question.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, though? Just be upfront and be honest, and now there's no question marks. Sometimes that's unfiltered. At the same time, it's what most people want to hear. They want honest feedback, right? Honesty.
So, I would.
Yeah.
Like, am I wrong to think I have a shot at, going to the 5-0 or pro level and
thicken up the skin? You know what I mean?
Or do what it takes to get there. What does that look like to get there? Like, but then don't forget, some people are limited, right? Like, to me, you're endowed with gifts, and your gifts are in some areas more than others. Like, don't ask me to do a math problem. You don't want me doing your taxes. You don't want me, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want that. I know my lane.
There it is. Know your lane.
Know your lane.
Yeah.
And why make other people feel less than because you don't know your lane?
Right.
Hello.
It's easy when you think about it like that, right?
And again, it's just pickleball.
It's just pickleball.
It's just pickleball.
So I talk about my dad a lot, how he really influenced me quite a bit in all the different sports, but he was always giving honest feedback. And I think about that now, and I remember growing up, you're a kid, you're going through puberty and you mature, and I had thin skin. We would get into arguments because it kind of hurt my feelings, and maybe that's parenting and growing up at the same time, just button heads, the different types of way to teach and coach. But I look at it now, and I think it thickened up my skin a little bit.
Yeah.
And when we're talking about honest feedback and coaching, and what level am I? No, I'm a 4.0. No, you're kind of like a 3.3. That thick skin probably helps in that situation. What it did, I think, growing up and now how I am now, I think I'm able to look myself in the mirror and say, all right, here's where I really need to work on. I'm good at this. And just really being honest with yourself and not having that fragile ego where you're like, you get down.
Well, that misses an opportunity to get better then. Because then you become full of self-pride and insecurity rather than using it as a time to say, okay, I'm going to take that honest feedback and I'm going to get better and fuel you.
And he's the one that influenced me to, when I first started getting that competitive fire again in pickleball. He's like, just play up. So the first tournaments I played was, at that time, remember, 5.0 was the top.
Yep.
So all I did was play 5.0, and I got whooped. I got smoked time and time again. But what it did was, I didn't let it hurt my ego or anything like that. It made me analyze the other people, the better players, where I'm lacking, reflecting, and then changing. That's how it should be, I think. I think that's how.
But you didn't go into it like delusional, thinking I'm this.
Never.
And I deserve to be there.
Never.
You looked at it as a learning experience.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never looked at it badly. I was like, this is a learning experience. I'm going to get better. I don't believe I'm this level or not. It doesn't matter to me. I just wanted to get better because that's in me. You do something for a reason. You play a sport for a reason. You want to be as good as you can be.
Right.
That's all.
Yeah. Yeah. And be humble about it.
Humble.
When you start winning 4.5 tournaments, okay, you're onto something, right? And then you can be humble and go into the next level and see how you do. But
yeah.
Well, cool.
Humble. That's important. So, these egos, the delusional thoughts of being better than
grandeur.
I mean, that's that chaos we're talking about. And
we're not talking about someone that is trying to get better. They're pursuing their dreams of getting really good at this game.
That's great. We love that.
Yeah, go as far as you can go. But don't think like a 3.5 player can get to 5.0 overnight, or the odds are not in your favor. Let's just say that. The odds are not in your favor.
Right.
Nothing personal. The odds are not in my favor to become a CPA. They're just not. Ain't
Nor
gonna happen.
do you probably want to be.
I could work at it. I could get to a point where I could maybe do the H&R Block, filling out the blanks. But like,
there you go.
To take money from someone to give me their money for their tech, no.
Yeah.
No.
Makes sense when you put it that way.
It's common sense, really. Left the building.
Yeah.
All right, there you have it. If you learned something, or you just felt like you were nodding along thinking, yeah, I've been there, then please follow us or share this with someone that might need to hear it.
Thanks for spending time with us. See you next time on Keeping It Real with Gina and Neil.